Hello Edu Explorer, thanks for joining us again and welcome to our channel. If you're joining us for the first time here at Edu Explorer, we go beyond borders to bring you inspiring content and also some very educating information. Hopefully you had some time to watch our previous videos. We would like to hear from you. Today we are talking about the world's largest oil reserves by country. Without any much ado, we're just going to be looking at an overview with regards to oil reserves. By the end of this video, you will have a better picture and the reason why these particular countries made this top list. So we would like you to keep watching. When we mention oil reserves of a specific country, we are talking about the amount of crude oil that can be found in the country and recover at a cost that matches the current price of oil. This is why the reserves of oil globally affect the price of oil. This makes oil reserves different from oil resources, which includes all the available oil, no matter the price of recovery. Oil reserves are determinant, or for example, they determine on a variety of levels. This includes the reservoir level, the national level, and also the world's level. When discussing oil reserves of a specific country, we focus on proven oil reserves. Proven reserves of oil are those quantities that can be confidentially or confinedly estimated at true by using various engineering and geological data. Those quantities of petroleum are commercially recoverable, for example, at any time from when well reserves, and also they can be sought out into those particular reservoirs. Current economic conditions of a country play a large role in this and can tremendously impact the list of the countries with which the most significant oil reserves we shall be talking about. If a specific region in a country is suddenly deemed to have recovered or, for example, recoverable oil under the economic conditions, the proven oil reserves of the country can grow tremendously. It happens with Venezuela and Canada. In this particular video, we will talk about the 5 countries with the largest oil reserves, and we shall be able to bring you that in terms of barrels. If you are new to our channel and watching us for the first time, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel, share our videos, and also to leave your comments. Number 1, Venezuela. Venezuela has over 298 billion barrels of oil in their reserve. With over 298 billion barrels of oil, Venezuela is the country with the largest oil reserves in the world. This amount makes up to 17% of the world's total oil reserve. The country also produces around 2.1 million barrels of oil daily. Despite the country being in an economic turmoil and constantly facing political crisis, it manages to keep its first place as the country with the largest proven oil reserves. The economic situation of Venezuela relies heavily on petroleum, and it accounts for over 90% of its export. However, the global oil prices being its decline, the country is facing a huge economic crisis, especially since it did not invest in renovations with regards to its pipelines of its obsolete oil attractions and the infrastructures. Their daily production of barrels have decreased significantly over the past few years. Number 2, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia currently holds the second place with over 268 billion barrels of oil reserves. It is not far behind Venezuela, and with a daily production of over 12 million barrels, it might overtake the first place soon. The amount of barrels produced daily is higher than any other country besides the United States. Just like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia depends on the export of petroleum heavily. It makes up to, we're gonna say over 775% of the country's export revenue. The oil reserves in Saudi Arabia makes it a strong strategic ally to the United States, despite many bluntly problematic issues in the aspect of the country. Some of those includes, for example, human rights violations and other many international incidents that occurred in the past and recently. Number 3, Canada. While Canada produces over 4.8 million barrels. In this particular case, we're looking at, in terms of the reservation, it's 178 billion barrels of oil that Canada reserves. We are just going to be looking at the way they produce on a daily basis, just over 4.5 million barrels of oil daily. The country has over 171 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, which is more than any other country in North America, and enough to earn the third place globally. However, petroleum actually isn't an import or important for the economy of Canada, as it's for other countries we just mentioned earlier. Since the economy of this country is extremely diverse or diversified, petroleum exports makes up a bit less than 20% of the overall exports of Canada still. Oil production has exploded in this country despite all we just mentioned over the past couple of years, and we can expect daily oil production to continue rising. There are many other large corporations working in Canada privatization to privatize its oils, and also to include the sectors such as like the Sunco, Imperial Oil, and the crude oil to enhance the country's diversified resources to make sure that they stay in this particular position that they are at the moment. Number 4, Iran, with over 157 billion barrels of reserve. With 157 billion barrels proven reserve, we're going to say that Iran takes the 4th place on this list. The daily production of oil is now over 5 million barrels also, and since the country is a founding member of OPEC, it makes sense that Iran holds a lot of power in the oil business. OPEC is an organization made up of 13 countries that try to unify and coordinate the policies of those countries regarding oil production. National Iranian Oil Company is the sole responsible for the company to enhance its own productivity. The production in a particular country, for example like Iran, will depend on those national organizations. Despite the oil production in Iran seen increasing throughout the past decades, experts do not expect to see the trend going the way it is. With new US sanctions imposed that restrict several nations from purchasing oil from Iran, including China, Japan, and India, oil production in this country could plummet. Number 5, Iraq, with over 144 billion barrels of reserves. The 5th of this list is reserved for Iraq, the country with over 144 billion barrels of oil and the daily production of over 4.5 million barrels. This amounts to almost 9% of the entire global supply of proven oil reserves. Oil revenue is one of the biggest staples, we would say, of this particular economy, and it is heavily reliant on it. It is even more prevalent than in any other country on this particular list we've mentioned, which means Iraq focus or place its strategic initiative in terms of business with regards to the oil. We will say that it accounts for over 95% of Iraq's export. The country does not show signs of stopping. In the last decade, the country production of oil in Iraq has seemed to kind of increase to over 50%, and the trend is expected to continue. This comes after a long period of civil unrest and several wars that severely damaged the oil infrastructure in the country. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different networks. Hopefully these particular countries made our list, and that's the reason why we wanted to let you know that they made this list as a result of the reserves that they do have. If you feel there is a particular country that produces or have enough reserves that we didn't mention in this list, we would like to hear from you. If you feel that there is something we've left out, please, we would like to hear your comments, or you feel otherwise, we would appreciate hearing from you then. Otherwise, we're going to thank you for joining and also for watching our channel again. We are looking forward to meeting you to our next episode. For now, thanks for watching The Explorer. Share our videos and also subscribe to our channel, and have a good day. Bye-bye.